Hi, everybody. I'm in the Garver building. It's awesome. It feels like I just had a class here when it was full. So, let's find our seat. And before we start, my name is Dar, and this is a yin class. And I'm going to try to keep this yin class super still and chill tonight, if that's okay with you. Honestly, I can't hear you, so I'm hoping it is. Because there's so much noise in the world and there's so much tension in people's bodies, I thought we would breathe and move mindfully and just find our seat in our center. And it's such a privilege to be in this room alone. It's like a cathedral to me. And it's still here, and it will be here when all of you come back. So just know everything changes. Let's just kind of take the hands to Anjali Mudra. Noticing the energy between the palms, maybe rocking a little bit on your seat, forward to back. And then come to stillness, dropping the eyes to the fingertips. Noticing your breath and setting an intention for your practice tonight, whatever that is. And then gently blink your eyes open and see what you see in front of you. And draw your hands to your thighs. Let's draw the shoulders up. A nice deep breath, and then exhale slowly, draw the shoulders down. Inhale, draw the shoulders up. And exhale, draw the shoulders down. Let's take some shoulder rolls. And your neck is part of it, so the head doesn't have to be rigid. Just feel your shoulders, so much burden, so much responsibility. And roll in the opposite direction, noticing feel into your shoulders. Maybe your jaw right and left a little bit. Open your jaw and just let out a sigh. And it can be any kind of a rough sigh, or it can be a silent sigh. Let's try it again. Inhale. And just let your voice express how you're feeling. One more time. 3 is the charm. Inhale. Let's take the left hand to the right knee and just look out over your left shoulder and lift your chin. Inhale, lift your sternum and start rotating your ribs to the right as you keep looking to your left. Chin level with the floor, and just see what you see in the distance. Inhale, broaden the ribs. Exhale, drop your tailbone and just pull on your right knee a little bit, getting a nice little twist, and untwist. Right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, grow the spine long and tall. Look out over your right shoulder so the neck turns in opposition to the twist. And as you pull on your left knee, the chest rotates around as you exhale, back off a little as you inhale. And exhale, and pull, and pull, and pull. And release. Let's drop the hands to the sides. Inhale, draw the arms up. And exhale, just let them float down on the breath. Think of yourself like an angel in slow-mo. Inhale, spreading your wings. Exhale, floating the arms down. Think of your lungs like the wings of your heart. Inhale. Keep inhaling. Hold the breath in at the top. Relax the face and shoulders. And exhale, float the arms down. Let's draw back on the sit bones and stretch the legs out. And just popcorn them a little bit. If you're sitting up on a seat, you're welcome to stay there, or you could slip off the seat a little bit if that feels better, if you're more flexible. And just swing the legs right to left, right to left. Nothing big. Notice the difference if there is one between the right and left leg, in the hip joint, in the ankles. And then let's make some circles with the feet. And maybe you can see that my feet are like fish in a school and they're rolling in tandem instead of in opposition. Spreading the toes, pushing, spreading the toes, and change the direction. Take a breath. Remember, you have to take those breaths. We all do, forget. And then reach and pull your little meats back right under your sitting bones. And let's simply rub the legs right on that stomach meridian, right at the front of your thighs. And then fold forward, and you can turn your palms up. You can put your hands on blocks if you're lucky enough to have blocks in your bunkers. Or you can just float down and let your hands rest on the floor. And just come into the first classic pose of Yin Yoga, the caterpillar posture, a forward bend. Now you may not want to drop your head right away or bounce. Finding just your breath and just gravity pulling you down by its own natural force. You don't have to do anything here except fold forward. Now everyone is different. Some people will be sitting up, just kind of rolling their upper back down. Other people, like the average person, maybe is about here. And then there are the Gumby people, and they just flop right down, but it doesn't mean anything. So you find your edge. Everyone's edge is different. And we call that the Goldilocks effect. We don't want the part ice cold where you're just bored and you don't feel anything. But you don't want to be struggling into it and boil that porridge. You want it just like Goldilocks likes it, just right. Caterpillar pose. Notice how you're breathing, which way the ribs move when you breathe. Are they moving on the horizontal, or are you mostly belly breathing or upper chest breathing? Just notice that, and just try to expand the back ribs a little bit on the horizontal when you inhale, and exhale all the way until the belly, right above the pubic bone, collapses in a little bit. If you find your mind jumping around from thought to thought like a monkey in a tree, that's called monkey mind, and everyone has one living in their mind. And what you want to do is maybe introduce the hum sa mantra, hearing the sound so on the inhalation and hum on the exhalation. exhalation silently to yourself. So, it's very subtle, and it keeps the mind a little calmer and the thoughts at bay. So we're passing the 2.5 minute mark, 30 more seconds in forward folding like this. Noticing sensation, feeling the weight of your arm bones, the gentle tug on the backs of your thighs, and anything else you're feeling. After your next long exhalation, just pick your heavy head up. And you might be a little closer to your feet, and if you are, just grab them and give them a little squeeze. Notice if there's any tenderness anywhere, and take those little thumb pads in. And then you're going to walk yourself up the front of your legs, pushing into the soft tissue. Then you're going to pull your shoulders up again like we did a moment ago, and let them come down, and just flap your wings a little bit. And notice the sensation in the upper thoracic back between the shoulder blades. Take a breath, open your jaw, and just squeeze your face out, get that magnificent shining grin, and then release it. And let's just draw the right leg out to the right, and left leg in. Keeping it simple, you can prop the left thigh with a block, or not if you have a lot of flexibility. But sometimes it's nice, if you have any pain at all, you want to be able to relax into the yin postures completely. Rotate towards your right leg and take your left hand right to the right side of the knee, right hand behind you. And this time, rotate, take a nice little panoramic view of the room and twist around, look out over your right shoulder. Take a breath. So, let the anchor of your tailbone get a root. And then see the room again as you come around, right hand on left knee. Inhale, lift the chest, and look out over your left shoulder, pulling on your left knee. Inhale, broaden your lips, so and then come back to center. And now you're going to come down the length of that right leg, and you're going to drop your left eyeball towards your right knee and your left shoulder a little bit. So your heart is lined up right down in front of that thigh. This one is called half straddle. Inhale, find your left lungs, left kidney. Exhale, release your left shoulder, elbow, wrists, and knuckles. Feel where your palms are. Are they touching the floor, your shin, your blocks, your choice? Inhale. Exhale, how's the lower back? The lower back's associated with our feeling of safety in the world. Inhale. And exhale. Soften the belly. Scan your body, resting or clinging, let it go. Maybe allow the full weight of your head to tug on your spine. One more breath in. As you exhale slowly, make sure you let all of the air out and surrender, surrender, surrender. Maybe turn your palms up if they're facing the floor for one last breath. Slowly pick your heavy head up, looking past your foot. Turn your palms either onto the floor or climb up your leg. Remember, you get a little fragility in the long hold, so really have mercy on those little aches and pains. Lift your chest. And just allow the 2 sit bones and tailbone to make a 3-prong plug into your mat. Here's the exciting part, rotating back towards your screen and unfurling your left leg and taking your block or a pillow or a holster or nothing at all and sliding it forward so you're like a box top that's half open. Can you hear that? It's pouring rain at the monsoon out there. Inhale, broaden the ribs. So we're not bending and bouncing, we have a nice flat back with a spear, then hit the 45-degree angle into the earth, that's your spine. Draw the shoulders back a little, lengthen the neck, and allow the inside of your mouth to become slack and find real moisture inside your cheeks. So hum. Now you're going to take one more breath, so and as you exhale, fold forward your wealth to put the head on the block. Or you can make it with your elbows on the block and put your head in your hands. Especially if you have a tender lower back with any issues, you do not have to fold forward every time. Your choice, your edge, your practice. Very slowly lift your face, walk your hands back, place your hands on your thighs. You can make the peace sign. This is called Bhu Mudra, B-H-U, and you just place your fingers right there on your top thighs. Make sure your shoulders aren't rigid, and just drop back a little right through your tailbone and lift your sternum as if it were a kite on a breeze. This is very grounding posture, putting you back on earth out of mental constructs, fantasies, dreams. Inhale. And exhale. Release your Bhu Mudra. Take your arms to the side. Inhale, float the arms up. Intertwine the fingers to the web, flip the palms to your ceilings, and see if your biceps can touch the cartilage of your ears. Now relax your tailbone and sit bones, and take a breath, broadening the ribs. Exhale. Move your jaw a little bit. Bend your elbows and slip your hands to the back of your head. And just lean back a little bit, drop your shoulder blades, and just maybe look where the wall meets the ceiling. I see these beautiful chandeliers up there. Inhale, broaden the ribs as if you can breathe into your armpits. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And then come on up. And just float the arms down. And rest them palms up on your knees or above your knees, and notice the energetic connection between your heart and the inside seams of your arms. And then blink your eyes open and take your right leg and put it up against your left leg. Now I know many of you know I need a hip replacement, so my right leg is always in a lot of pain. So I want to make sure that I'm not adding to the pain, so I'm going to prop it nice and high. Many of you don't have to put anything under it at all. And then you're going to turn towards that left leg, take the hand to the outer knee. Inhale, lift your chest, see your space, your familiar home, and rotate around all the way. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, rotate. Arch your neck, inhale. Relax your jaw, exhale, rotate. And you're going to take a nice panorama in slow-mo across your whole room and bring your left hand to your right knee. Down your butt. And inhale, lift your chest and rotate around. When you rotate and exhale, you really relax your lower belly so you're very grounded. Inhale. Exhale, rotate, see the elements in the room, the textures and colors. And you come back all the way, framing that left leg, and fold down over the leg, right eyeball towards left knee. So my range is like this on this side. And I totally have mercy on myself. I don't need to change it, I just need to accept it. And just to breathe, and breathe into the cells, into the tissue, sending light and space and healing, not angry, not trying to change anything. Being with what is. Inhale. Exhale. Just folding over that left leg. And if you want, you can rest your hands anywhere they're comfortable. Just make sure that you're trying to line the spine up over the left thigh bone. So you get a little twist to the lumbar back, and we're stressing this right hip as well. So in the end, we talk about stressing the joints, bringing tension to them with intention. And if your mind is wandering, being too intellectual or judgmental, just inhale so calm. Soften the corners of your mouth, soften the sides of your tongue. So if you can release some of the fear, some of the judgments, the analysis, the wanting something to happen, just be in your cells, in your breath, and in the present moment, where all life takes place. Three more smooth breaths in half straddle. Your last breath, maybe turn your palms up, softening completely for one more total surrender breath. And then pick your head up and look past your left big toes, give any penny. Your palms, sorry, left head. Sometimes I have yoga Tourette's, where I just do yoga stand up even in the most serious moments like this. Lift your chest and just let your head float. Take a breath with gratitude for this incredible life. And then rotate back and undo your right leg, and you can moan and groan like old people. I say make old people sounds anytime you want. You take your hands behind you and just windshield wide. Make sure the feet are wide and not together. And just allow that adduction and abduction happen in the hips, back and forth. Maybe throw your chin cheeky way over that opposite shoulder. And then you're going to sit up. If you want to sit on your blanket, you can. I too, but I'm going to sit up on one, because I know what I need in terms of assistance for postures. You're going to bend your left leg so the shin bone is parallel to the front of your mat. And you're going to take your right leg behind you. And the foot may or may not touch that right knee. And that right hip is lifted a little. That's no problem. And you're just going to come down on that left palm and swing the right arm up and over. You're going to let your shoulders move up a little, maybe like a pillow for your jaw. And just feel like someone's pulling you from your wrist and fingertips right out your hand. So you feel that long fascial connection from the arm, the upper ribs, maybe all the way down to the right hip and thigh. Inhale, go to the ribs. And exhale. And then lift that right arm up. Take a moment to feel the blood drain from the hand and arm right into the middle of your heart. Come on up. You're going to rotate. You're going to face the left. You're going to place your right palm on the floor, maybe 4 inches from your left palm. And why don't we come down on our forearms tonight, making sure you put as much weight into the right arm as the left, and just push the mat towards your screen with your forearms, and just look out over your left elbow and drop your head. So this is called spiral. It's a variation of the other spiral energy. Inhale. Exhale. Let your ribs go so you can feel your right ribs giving your liver a hug. Inhale. Exhale. And gently come up out of it. And just grab onto your right ankle for a moment, just for stability, and come to the spider hand of your left hand, and just lift your sternum. Drop your right hip just a little bit and feel into the hip joint. Take that right leg, move it a little bit more so it points more towards the right wall. And now come down onto your forearms in front of your left shin. So what you want to do is make sure that your shin is parallel. You're not flopping into your left side. I'm exaggerating here. But you're putting as much weight down for the right forearm as the left. And now, study where the stress is, where the epicenter of sensation is here, and just come into your so hum if you need it. Ribs are broadening, you're smoothing the breath. So the second principle of the yin practice is stillness of body, stillness of breath, and stillness of mind, which is very difficult, but we have tools for that. Focusing on sensation and breath keeps the mind's fantasies at bay. We always sneak in, but that's okay. Inhale. This is called the Z pose, letter Z. See if you can feel the relationship between your left jaw and your left hip socket. See if you can relax your right leg and feel into the inside seam of the right leg. Notice if the ankles, feet are tense. Relax those last 30 seconds here. And after you come to your third exhalation, you're just going to start using your arms. Try to avoid using any back muscles or front muscles to lift yourself up. And you're going to swing your legs out again in front of you. And like they were two rolling pins, just rock them in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And you're going to roll onto your right hip, you're going to swing your left leg behind you, and you're going to take your right leg so that it's parallel to the front, and I need my little block friend here to hold my thigh steady. And you're just going to rotate and just rotate the chest to the right. Make sure you're here now, you see what you see. Don't get into been there, done that. Don't get ahead of yourself. And then when you can, you're going to come down and place your palms on the floor. And then you're going to maybe come to your elbow, your forearms. Now that's not possible for me. So I'm going to use a block under my left hand, but I want to make sure I'm rotating and softening through the lower belly. You know, you can even pull your little pantry over to the right if you need to. And then I'm going to drop my head under my right armpit, or past my right elbow if your two arms are on the floor, and come into spiral. Inhale, long ribs. So we're addressing the middle chunky part of the back, the thoracic back, the biggest vertebrae we have here. See if you can soften around and actually get a little movement there. Let the neck and head go. Feel your organs being torqued. Think of them like towels or sponges, and you're just squeezing on the tissue. So that when you let go, all that blood flows back to the area. More breaths. And slowly enjoy the untwisting of the spine. And like a vortex twists when you release them, they just release your energy out like a funnel. Take your right hand either to a block or the floor, swing the left arm up and come down. And maybe you come onto your forearm, maybe not. Drop your ear towards the right shoulder and enjoy opening the entire left side body, the gallbladder breathing. Up and down the ribs, it zigzags up and down the ribs. Our old stories, our bitterness, our grudges, our being rightness, our stubbornness is in the ribs. Inhale, make space and light. And exhale, soften. Float the left arm up, allowing blood to flow from the arm to the pool in the heart. And then imagine someone lifts you to the wrist and sits you up. And for a moment, just hold your left ankle and your right knee and be here now. Thich Nhat Hanh, great teacher, Vietnamese Buddhist monk and teacher extraordinaire, says, all of life takes place in the present moment, and if you don't arrive there, you miss your appointment with your own life. Your eyes open if you wish and start moving forward. You can take that left knee a little bit off so there's a space between the heel and the knee. And you're going to come down into Z pose. And for me, my Z pose is quite abbreviated. But I get the same benefit as somebody who's flopped down on the floor. So never think being flexible means you're a better yogi. It just means you're more flexible. And most of the time, it's a genetic predisposition. Inhale. Exhale. Feeling a little tug on the inner left groin. Thinking about your liver and your kidneys. Making friends with them. And as you trust the pose, it takes 90 seconds for the body to actually accept the shape in yoga, and especially more complex ones. And then you settle, and the body realizes you won't be injured, and it starts to release its grasping and grip and protective mechanisms. And you can send the breath and the light and the space wherever you intuitively want to. Try not to dump into your right arm. Try to shift the weight down through the left arm so you're not using your right thigh to rest on, and that you're keeping yourself at tension. So you're keeping the tension in the hip joint. But you're, of course, Goldilocks, and it's just right. You're experiencing complete stillness, no fidgeting, fussing. tweaking or twerking. And then comes the stillness of the mind. So or it can be reversed. Sa. Two more full breaths here, softening, softening. And lift your heavy head and gently make yourself back. Remember, when you work deep in the hips, you feel a little fragile and pulled apart. Take a breath. And then you're going to take this left leg out in front. And instead of having a wide foot windshield wipe, we're just going to windshield wipe with the knees and ankles together and give your lumbar spine a little massage. And now here comes heaven. We're going to come off our blankies. And you're going to just put them off to the side, unless you want to open them a little and put them across your hips. If you have a pubic bone that protrudes, it's very painful to lie down on your stomach like this. So you can always put the blanket under, and you're just going to come onto your belly. Oh, God, that feels good. And just kind of cross your forearms, draw your elbows forward, and rest your head in the back of your forearm. Notice just this simple Makarasana. This posture is called the crocodile pose, I think because of the pointy elbows or something. I'm not sure why. You're already in somewhat of a back bend. The lumbar spine, especially from all the forward bending, is now dipping into the body in its natural curve. And if you're quite aware of that, at least I am, I can't speak for everyone. And then you're going to inhale and broaden the ribs instead of pushing with your belly into the floor. See if you can make the ribs wide. Of course, there'll be some pushing. How do your legs feel? Are they relaxed? Are they tingling? How is your buttocks? Is it clenching or is it completely relaxed? Relax it if you can. With your next exhalation, you're going to come up into one of my favorite poses, which is the Sphinx posture. Glance down, your forearms are parallel and you're lined up under your shoulders and elbows. So don't make the mistake of this, which will actually throw a lot of pain into your shoulders. Keep it almost like a right angle and maybe press from right to left like a little snake in the grass, peeking around. Move your jaw a little bit, and from the waist down, you're completely relaxed and passive. So you can feel a nice, interesting pull on the lumbar spine. And then come back and lift your heart, maybe pull the mat a little bit towards you. And just drop your lumbar spine into the soft tissue of your belly towards your bladder. With your chest lifted, simply drop your head for a moment and let the base of the skull relax. And gently lift your head again. And let's just bend both legs, which will increase the curve in your back. Now, if this brings you past your edge, if porridge is boiling or hot, you don't lift your legs. You just keep staying exactly where you were. I remember taking a mini yin training with Sarah Powers, and she had us do Sphinx and Seal 12 minutes. Brings up a lot of anger. Take some breaths, let your two hips anchor you. Feet are totally passive. Your entire focus is on your spine, and you can think of it like a jump rope, or the cable of the Golden Gate Bridge, or more of a hammock. Just keep letting it relax and sink in and sink in every time you exhale. You'll find a place you're still clinging. If you bring the shoulders a little bit upward, you'll find your upper thoracic back. And then just float your feet to the floor. Draw your elbows wide. And now just put your head on the back of your hands. And it'll feel like New Year's Day. Oh. Focus on your kidneys. There might be a dull ache in the kidneys. The kidneys regulate the jing, the J-I-N-G in the body, the chi. And when you're stressed and worried, the kidneys, they just pump and pump, just adrenaline, ready for a fight, ready for a disaster. And gently lift your head, draw your feet wide, and come back onto your elbows. So Sphinx and Seal are generally done one after the other. So for some people, again, if you have trouble in your shoulders, this might feel good with the legs wider right on your elbows. Rest of you, take your hands, turn them into flippers. Turn them out so they're a little wider than your shoulders, and come up to a locked elbow. Now your back is like a jump rope, right? It's just being held on each end. You're dropping the middle down. Maybe this is enough where you're getting a nice, beautiful opening through the front of your spine. Maybe try dropping your head in this. Remember, the more locked out the elbows, the more stable the posture is. And if you are feeling cheeky or you're not at your edge, bend your legs and just put your big toes together. Do not try to put the soles of your feet against each other. That's very bad for the knees. So make sure just the tips of your toes are touching. And now you're a seal on a beach, on a rock, somewhere out in San Francisco Bay. Inhale. Exhale. Find the moisture in your mouth. Feel how your hips are. Relax your glutes. They want to clench in there. One more breath. And as you exhale, just peel your whole spine down in slow-mo. Release your legs. And just take your hands into a goalpost position. Take your left ear on the mat and draw the right knee up like you were laying in your bed. So the knee is actually on the floor. The left ear is on the floor, right knee is up, and you just breathe into that left kidney. Listen carefully, we're gonna do something fun and different. You're gonna just take your head in your left hand, right? Your right knee is still bent, it's on the mat. And you're gonna maybe look to the right, but you might be looking at the screen to see what's gonna happen. You're gonna bend your left leg, you see, my foot, and you're gonna reach back and you're gonna grab the top of the foot, either from the inside or outside or right across the tops of your toes, it doesn't matter. And you're gonna kick into your hand and kind of roll your heart towards the right wall. It's a variation of cat pulling its tail. Inhale, exhale. So the top of that left thigh is pressing down, you're kicking into your hand. Feels like you're gonna pull your right arm out of the socket and your whole head rests in your left palm. You're just looking to the right. Breathe, inhale. Exhale. And then change sides, release that. Straighten that right leg. Goalpost arms. Left leg comes up, right ear on your mat. Sometimes you have to trick the body with different shapes to open up the areas that we don't normally even feel in our regular movements. One more breath. And then you're just going to come up. This time you're going to put your head in your right hand. So you're actually just feeling your jaw and a little bit around the back of your head. Slide this right elbow up like you're just talking to somebody lying on the floor in a pajama party. You're going to bend that right leg. You're going to reach back with your free arm and grab the top of the foot. And you're going to kind of kick into it like you were doing a standing bow or a dancer pose in vinyasa. You're just going to let that left shoulder roll back a little. And you'll feel some unusual things in your spine. And then release your foot. And draw your feet back. Take your hands under your shoulders. Press up onto all fours. And just kind of rock back and forward. Back and forward. I'm crawling up because of my knees on the hardwood here. Beautiful floor. Forward. Settle back for a moment in widening child's pose. Just allow your lumbar back, that full opening after all of those sphinxes and seals and cat pulling its tails. Last beautiful smooth breath. Start walking your hands back. And let's come up, oh my goodness, to short man. And just bring your feet together. Kind of feel grounded, adjust your costume, your pajamas, whatever you're wearing there. And because we've been talking about our kidneys, take your hands right on your kidneys, and I'll turn around quickly. Right here, right against the kidneys, fingertips towards the tailbone. And then you're just going to bring your nose so it's parallel to your ceiling. You're going to inhale and broaden the ribs. Drop the shoulder blades, soften your cheekbones. I know that's not possible. Muscles over your cheeks, and maybe allow your head to drop back. Ustrasana, camel posture. And slowly make yourselves come up. Plant your palms on the floor. Take your knees wide and tuck your big toes under. Maybe you can see my feet tucked under there. And walk yourself back into a little squat. You see my toes are touching, my knees are wide, my arms are inside my knees. And plant your palms kind of like a little frog here and press your elbows into the inner knees and lean into your arms, almost like you're going to come into an arm balance or a headstand. And just let the inside of your thighs open up. You can also feel the fascia in your feet being addressed. Ha! And then come on up. And sit yourselves down. Take your legs out in front of you and popcorn them. Take your hands and get the tops of the legs, just kind of punch them. Take your fist, punch the outer part of your legs. Maybe the inside seam of the legs. A little bit on the inside seam of the arm, the part and pericardial meridian, and maybe right across under the collarbone. Heart opens a little bit, knock your heart awake. And there we go, other side. Woo! Squeeze your face up, tapping on the chest. And then you're going to take your blankets and you're going to sit as we started in easy pose. And again, this is a single hour class. Just settle down into your space and see if you can feel into your body any opening, any currents. And I thought we would close the class with what's called the tumbling meditation. We live in such turbulent, unpredictable, wild times, so full of suffering and heart and emotion, that we all know somebody who is suffering, or some group of people suffering, or a country that's suffering. So let's take the hands to Anjali Mudra. And then we're going to turn the palms open and gently face them forward like they were filled with flower petals. And in your mind's eye, place somebody, something, someplace, some animal, some, maybe even Mother Earth, someplace that's suffering. And as you inhale, you pull the suffering up through your palms and arms into your heart. As you exhale, petals flow with light and space and peace to a suffering being. Inhale, absorbing the darkness, the fear, and the suffering. And exhaling peace and sweetness and light. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Take your palms together with your beautiful, delicate flower petals to your heart. Thank you for joining me in this very easy but profound practice of yoga and mindfulness. Namaste.